Good day everyone, this is Coach Gerald. Welcome back to GMG Chess. Today, let's see one of the immortal games in the Karukan defense, classical variation. In this game, white continued to follow the long line, which is the typical plan for white. And white played a brilliant knight sacrifice at g7. That's why the 13th queen a6 now is out of passion in this classical Karukan defense. And most of the chess players shifted to 13 queen c7, which popularized by Lars Schandorp. Without further ado, let's go now to the game. Landa played e4, Shaposhnikov played c6, d4, d5, knight c3, d takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop f5. We are following the main line. Knight g3, bishop g7, bishop g6, h4, h6, knight f3, planning to play knight e5, knight d7, preventing knight e5, h5. This is necessary because h5 making white a bind. Bishop h7, bishop d3, bishop takes d3, queen takes d3, e6, bishop f4. As we can see, bishop f4 is much active compared to bishop d2. Queen a5, bishop d2, bishop b4, c3, bishop e7, c4, queen a6. A popular continuation before. Nowadays, black plays queen c7, the main line. It was introduced by Lars Schandorp in his book entitled The Karukan Defense. Bishop b4 is a dubious idea. Knight e4, exploiting the d6 weakness for black. After knight gf6, knight d6 check. The knight occupied the strong d6 square, and black cannot expel it without losing material. King e7, c5, binding the knight at d6. White has advantage in this position. After queen a6, castle, because white cannot castle queen side. The pawn at a2 is weak, is free. Rook d8. After knight gf6, the normal move, rook fe1, again place your rook in the open file, which is typical plan in this opening. The idea is knight f5 after black castle. Exchanging white knight for black dark bishop is better for white. After castle, knight f5, rook fe8, knight takes e7. Rook takes e7, bishop b4, rook ae8, knight e5, and white is better. After the game, rook d8, b4, good move. White starts the queenside attack, which is typical in this opening. Knight gf6, the normal move, a4, pawn storm, b6, bad move. If castle, normal move, a5. The idea is b5. After queen b6, which is the black best option, rook fd1, and white has initiative. Bishop takes b4 is bad move. Because of a5, queen c7, bishop takes b4. White is winning. After b6, rook fe1. Again, place your rook in the offen file. And the offen e file, that is beneficial for white. Castle, knight f5. A typical idea in this variation, exchanging the white knight to black dark bishop, thus controlling the e file, and a weak f5 pawn. Rook fe8. If e takes f5, rook takes e7, knight takes e4, bishop f4, with the idea of bishop c7. And white has the advantage. After rook fe8, there is a brilliant move for white. Can you find it? I give you 2 to 3 minutes to find out. There are two excellent moves in this position. Do you have answer already? Let's check it out. In this position, white has two excellent moves. Maybe they can alternate each other, but the idea are the same. In this game, white played knight takes g7. Excellent move. This is a beautiful positional sacrifice. Also, rook takes e6 is excellent move. After rook takes e6, which is also the strongest move based on the engine. After f takes e6, knight takes g7. As I said, maybe those moves can be interchanged. After knight takes g7, king takes g7. If knight f8, knight takes e8, knight takes e8, knight e5, attacking the c6 pawn, and white has many active pieces, the rook, the bishop, the queen at d3, and also the h6 pawn is weak, plus exposed black king. Queen b7, queen g3 check, knight g7, queen f3 attacking the c6 pawn, bishop g5, bishop takes g5, h takes g5, knight takes c6, and white is winning. If Bishop f8 after knight takes g7. Knight takes e8, rook takes e8, queen g6 check, bishop g7, knight e5. White attack is decisive. After knight takes g7, if king takes g7, bishop takes h6, which is absolutely the same with the game. After the game knight takes g7, instead of rook takes e6, which is the strongest move, black played king takes g7. Rook takes e6, good move. This is the point of knight takes g7, weakening the shield of the black king. F takes e6. If rook c8, rook a e1, bishop takes b4. If f takes e6, bishop takes h6. The same idea in the game, which you can find later. After bishop b4, bishop takes b4, rook takes e6, rook takes e6, f takes e6, queen g6 check, king h8, then queen takes h6. White attack is decisive. After rook takes e6, if bishop f8, which is a good defense, rook takes c6, queen b7, then b5. White has slight advantage because of same points of material, but black has weak king and isolated pawns and initiative for white. After rook takes e6, if queen c8, bishop takes h6 check, king takes h6, queen e3 check, king g7, h6, king h7, rook takes e7, rook takes e7, queen takes e7, rook f8, knight e5. Again, white has the advantage because of exposed king with same material. 3 pawns versus knights. Now let's go to the game. After rook takes e6, black played f takes e6. Bishop takes h6. This is the main point. After this move, black is totally lost. In the computer, this one is 8 move checkmate. If king takes h6, queen g6 checkmate. After king h8, bishop g7, good move. And this is the final blow in this game. King takes g7. If king g8, queen g6. After king takes g7, queen g6 check, king h8. If king f8, knight g5. After king h8, the same, knight g5. The plan is to checkmate by knight f7. Rook f8, h6, and the checkmate is inevitable. A beautiful attacking game in this classical Karukan defense. Do you have some questions? Feel free to comment in this video so I can answer your question. By the way, thank you for watching guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.